I got 18 months in prison for making a documentary. There's no free speech here. I spent 7 months on solitary confinement in a maximum security prison for a civil offence. When the British public see it and they realise they've destroyed this country, they've flooded it, they've took the safety of our daughters. When that point comes and people actually wake up and look around and think, what have you done to our homeland? A spiritual war is being fought in this country.
I feel it too.
And it's happened.
Yeah.
And it's happening. The establishment will want me gone.
So this is Rob Hersov. I'm in England, and I'm here with Tommy Robinson. A week ago, there was a huge march. I estimate over 1 million people in London, which Tommy arranged, and a lot of British flags were flown, and there was a lot of pride in this extraordinary country. There must be 300,000 British passport holders in South Africa, and I would estimate 300,000 South Africans inside the M25 in England. South Africa is going through hell. Less than 1% economic growth, 30 years of ANC rule, destruction of our economy, going backwards, everything falling apart, anti-white, anti-colored, anti-Indian, racist laws being introduced. Our country is on its knees.
That sounds like Britain. Everything you just described, you could be talking about our homeland. And everyone's leaving here. Everyone's leaving. And it's anti-white here as well. It's anti-British. In fact, the only people getting accelerated or elevated are migrants. Our government care more about Pakistanis, Afghanis. In 2013, when I was thinking about the future of my family, and I knew I had to leave the town, because I looked at the demographical change and the predicted growth forecast from 2013 to 2030 in a 17-year period. They projected that the Pakistani and Bangladeshi community would increase by 70 to 77%. The white and black community were going to increase by 1.3 to 1.4. So the Labour Party, i.e. the Democrat Party, same difference, when they're looking at their future, where does their future lie? It lies within the Islamic community. The ever-increasing Islamic demographic in all of our major towns and cities that's taken over every town and city is Islam. I looked at Luton then, my hometown, after the Ariana Grande concert was blown up and 26 were murdered in a jihad attack in Manchester. I looked at the demographical change of Manchester. Manchester went from 25,000 Muslims to 50,000 Muslims in a 10-year period. Yeah? The next 10 years, it went from 50,000 to 100,000.
So it's doubling every
10 years. So if we do that again, now Manchester only has a population of 500,000.
I didn't realize that.
And Manchester is the capital of the north.
What percentage of the population living in Britain were not born in Britain is question one. You may not have the answer to that. And the question two is immigrants that assimilate.
Oh, well, the Sikhs have come here. The Sikhs have come here. They've worked fabulous. They've integrated and they've assimilated. The Hindus have come here. They've integrated. The West Indians. I'm from Luton, so most of my friends are not white. Right. Yeah? They've come here. They've integrated and they've assimilated. Per se, it works. Obviously, it has to be in controlled numbers.
All the other communities have done
a good job. Legitimate, and they've had children. They've had
come
children
through the process.
They're flying Britain's flag. Right. Their children are. Whereas the Pakistanis,
so the Hong Kong Chinese, and they're all the Zambians, the South Africans,
proud to be British.
The West
But
Indians.
the Pakistanis, they're still flying. You can be third, fourth, fifth generation. It's the Pakistani flag. Now, Islam does not allow them to become loyal to the nation. It doesn't. They're loyal to themselves. They're loyal to Islam. Mm-hmm. That's it. There's no integration or assimilation from any Islamic community. I mean, none. I got 18 months in prison for making a documentary. There's no free speech here. I made a film that exposed the government, exposed the judiciary. It was factual. I got 18 months in prison. I spent 7 months on solitary confinement in a maximum security prison for a civil offence. Now, in that maximum security prison, 40% of that prison is Islamic.
So they're converting people in prison.
Everyone's scared them. They're chopping them up. They're stabbing them every day.
Taking people's names and numbers.
They beheaded someone in the jail I was in.
A Ukrainian?
A Ukrainian got beheaded.
I heard about that.
Yeah. A Ukrainian got beheaded. Literally, they run the entire place. And the government have allowed this for so long. They need to separate Muslims and non-Muslims. They need to accept the problem and stop allowing vulnerable, weak men to be preyed on by Islamic radical jihadist mindsets.
You said 7% were Muslim men. But what about Muslim women?
Well, 3% of Muslim men in the UK.
3%.
Muslim women, 48% of them don't work.
Okay.
We pay the benefits on all of it. My local imam's got 14 kids with 3 wives.
Are there any other immigrant communities that are not assimilating or causing a problem?
No.
None. So across the board, there's assimilation, flying the British flag, but not related
Not the Islamic community.
Okay. And within the Islamic community, here's a tough one for you. What percentage are radicalized?
Well,
Can't be 100%.
Well,
They've got to be
no, they say
Muslims.
20%, don't they? That's
20.
That's worldwide figures of how many are radical. There's 6 Muslims now doing 30 years who got terrorism charges for planning to kill me. They got caught with guns, bombs, and IEDs. Pakistanis make up 3% of the UK. They're responsible for 33% of child defects at birth, because 76%, say Bradford, the city of Bradford, 76% of the Pakistanis in Bradford marry their first cousins.
So it's interbreeding.
And then we pay for it.
Within the Arab or Muslim community that have come to the UK or been born in the UK, there must be some countries from which they come that aren't the radicals.
Kenya, Turkey.
So the problematic ones, you're saying, are the Pakistanis.
The Pakistanis are such a problem.
Moroccans and Jordanians are probably
they're more liberal. Yeah. Turks. The Kurds are okay.
Yeah.
They come and work.
Yeah.
99% of Afghanis want Sharia law in Afghanistan. Right. Yeah. But when they get to our border, they don't just leave those views behind. They bring them in.
Yeah. Do you know, I had an interesting thing today from a friend of mine who said, this march you organised, incredible success, over 1 million people. And then there was the opposition crowd.
Not a single British flag.
Not a single British flag. And also the demonstration against Trump yesterday up Bond Street, not a single British flag. And this friend said to me, he said, if there are Brits flying the British flag, being anti-Trump, fair enough. You've got your view. But not a single one of these people was flying a British flag. They were all Palestinian flags, Pakistani flags. What does that tell me? It's pretty clear.
And it's all the people who hate Britain. Exactly. And not many of them, like, look, we had over 1 million people. Some say 3 million, yeah? They had 5,000. Do you know in their group of 5,000, do you know that the coaches were free? So
someone's paying for it.
Oh, yeah, George Soros and NGOs. It's always NGOs. They've literally, but what they've been able to do for 10, 15 years, they fund these anti-fascist organisations, and their job is to scare you into not talking or protesting.
Don't I know?
They come out and attack you violently. Yeah? And then if someone raises their head who's maybe influential, who has a decent, successful business, they go after them. That's it. They go after them.
I know.
The politicians are on the hierarchy of it. Then this group come in, and what they do, what their job is, say, for example, you're a businessman, which you are, yeah, and they find someone that you've sacked. Then they go in as an NGO organisation. They pay them money.
To say what they want them to say.
To say what they want to say. But then the BBC don't have to get their hands dirty, because the BBC then come in and they just report. These operatives, their operatives, will act in every Western nation, and their job is to attack free speech, to end free speech, to make the public too scared to exercise their free speech, because you lose your job, you lose your career, you lose your money. They literally want to break you. There's a whole room full of people paid full time whose job it is to find a way to slander me, destroy me, demonise me. Disrupt you. Disruption tactics. And then they use the police to do that as well. 48 hours before this event, Westminster Council.
You were almost cancelled.
The government stepped in, Westminster Council, Labour, stepped in and said, right, we're revoking your licence, to set up your speakers. So what they wanted was 1 million people with no way of cooperating with them. Now, we know what that would have equaled in. You couldn't talk to them, couldn't direct them. It would have descended into anarchy. We had a 30-minute meeting with the police. And in the meeting with the police, I said, lads, we know what they're doing. Yeah. And we've worked with the police for months and months.
And the police know too.
And the police know. Yeah. So we're both looking at each other going, I said, lads,
how do we deal with it?
They've turned us against each other for 10 years here. Yeah. Every time we've gone out, they'll pull a trick like this. Our supporters turn up. Your police are left in a vulnerable position, as are our supporters. We don't want this. Yeah. We want to work with you. We want safety for the country. We want safety for your officers and our supporters. So we've gone through this. The police come back. They had their own private meetings. They come back and said, we're not enforcing it. Yeah. So the police are rebelling against the government of orders. Good. The police have been unfairly embarrassed on a world stage in Britain.
Big time.
And it's because politicians are pulling the levers and using them as a political weapon. Even now, when the police are being sent out to arrest people for hate speech or tweets, the police don't agree in that.
I mean, we hear about that in South Africa. We think it's a joke.
But the police, imagine being the police officer who's forced to make that arrest, who doesn't believe in it. Now, there's a lot going on like this. So there's sort of and by listening to the police, there's sort of a rebellion going in within the police, because the police are decent men and women. Even when I've been arrested, time and time again, they've all been decent and fair. Yeah? All of them. So, but they're being used. So I'm saying to the police, prosecute me, I don't really care. Yeah, come and get me on Monday. I'll hand myself in, lads. Yeah, but you cannot allow 1 million people to come to our capital city without a way of talking to them.
Is there an animal that can stand up for Britain and fly the flag and swing things back to some sort of normalcy.
For 20 years, we've heard about when the British lion awakens. I've heard it. I've heard saying, just wait till this country wakes up.
Yeah.
And I've been screaming into the wilderness.
Yes, you have.
Thinking, wake up,
Not
will you?
anymore.
Wake up. I can tell you now, Britain is wide awake. And it's something I can only explain. I've got a shiver as I say it. There's something I can only explain. A spiritual war is being fought in this country.
I feel it too.
And it's happened.
Yeah.
And it's happening. And there's nothing, I sit quite confidently now. I knew it was coming. Our hope was that it doesn't just inspire the rest of Britain, but the West, because we're under attack. Christianity's under attack. Identity's under attack. We will change the politics a lot quicker rather than starting a little political party. Ground up from the bottom. Change the culture, change the politics. You will view this period that's happening now as a cultural revolution in Great Britain. The time when the public stood up and said, we will be ashamed no more. We will show pride every day from this point on. Because what's happened to this country and what's happened to most European countries would never have happened if we had pride. You wouldn't allow this to happen if you had pride. The destruction of this nation, which I'd call a globalist revolution, across the entire West. That globalist revolution was an attack on family, mass open border immigration, religion,
culture,
weaken everyone, confuse them, stick LGBTQ plus everywhere. That's been a globalist revolution. What you're seeing now is the birth of a
regeneration.
We're going back.
Do you think Trump has been an absolute lightning rod for this?
Without Elon Musk by next and without Donald Trump's election, there'd be no hope in this country. Yeah, with regards to censorship.
Elon.
Yeah, well, an unbelievable human being.
Yeah.
But an unbelievable human being who, probably like yourself, because I understand your background, didn't need to get involved in this.
No.
So I
he doesn't, and I don't.
No, neither do you. So when I look at someone like that, it's like when I looked at Elon Musk, when I looked at Trump, even when I look at your story, it's where I've come. When I look at it, I think, well, this geezer didn't need to get involved in this because there's nothing to benefit from it.
But Tommy, you too.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Unlimited downside.
Yes, unlimited downside, but I wasn't here. So when someone steps into this arena, like Elon, like any of these people, I just think, wow, because he cares.
In South Africa, a police officer went on TikTok and said, what happened to Charlie Kirk needs to happen to Rob Hersov, publicly on TikTok.
There's been you see the left and the far left, they've been allowed to do this.
Correct.
So they've been allowed.
There's been no pushback.
But there's purposely been no pushback because people like us, the establishment figures, want targets on us. So unjustly, there are smear campaigns. Like, for example, I'll give you a lady, Camilla Tominley. Yeah, she's a GB News presenter on the right of politics. Just 3-4 months ago when I was in prison, she's on the news saying I'm a white supremacist. Now, there's no truth in that. But saying I'm a white supremacist on daytime TV without any truth or nothing about it.
Most of your friends are black.
But imagine I walk down the street and see a group of black men who believe from her lies.
Correct.
Then they do the job of the state for them.
Correct.
So she's an establishment figure. I'm actually hated by the real white supremacists and the Nazis. They despise me. I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew lover. I'm Mossad.
Whatever.
I'm a multicultural. I'm every name going.
Sure.
I get it from every side. Look on Saturday. Yeah? I sit there and think the entire weight of the British establishment, the entire weapon of the globalist media. No one fucking listens to you.
Oh, no.
No one listens to you. No one listens to you. The fight back is on. Once we realise who we are and we remember who we are and we know what's inside each and every one of us, including our babies and our kids, that it's in their DNA. There is a resistance coming that these scumbags in government need to prepare themselves for because this ain't going away now. That pride that you saw on Saturday. And look, we are directing it and harnessing. There's a lot of anger in this country. When the British public sit and they realise they've destroyed this country, they've flooded it, they've took the safety of our daughters. When that point comes and people actually wake up and look around and think, what have you done to our homeland? They're going to be raging. Yeah. Our job to control that anger. Our job to make sure, which we've successfully done, to say to people, we don't want to hand them it on a plate. What they want is you to come out. They want a few thousand or even 10,000 or 100,000 people smashing things up. So then they can ruin and delegitimize the points you want to make. The monopoly that they used to have in spinning the narrative.
It's gone.
It's gone. Let me have a look. So not only do we have millions there, let's just have a quick look. Our event has now been seen on X by 47 million. We have 292 million impressions, 15 million engagements, 200,000 replies, 800,000 reposts, 5.4 million likes, 1.4 million profile visits in 7 days. It's bigger than the BBC. Yeah. So the power has been taken from the corporations and given to the people. What you saw on Saturday is going to be like an earthquake because they realise now, oh, we thought we isolated them as extreme, but the public are now with us. The future has borders and the future belongs to patriots.
Correct.
And the future belongs to us.
Correct.
And that's going to hurt politicians because they've been controlling the narrative and the elite have.
I've been saying, please speak up. I'm one of very few business people prepared to stand up and take it.
If more do, they make it easy.
If more do, they don't stand a chance.
If more do, for so long it was a lonely place because it was just us on this issue.
Feeling.
Yeah. So probably how you're feeling now.
Yeah.
Right? But all of a sudden now, there's an army. There's an army of citizen journalists. There's an army of public commentators. There's an army of
podcasters, alternate media.
Everyone's saying it.
Stand-up comedians.
Yeah, you're stand-up comedians. Yeah. It's happening, and that's gone like that very quickly. Doesn't matter what the media say. The public now see it. So the future's ours.
So Tommy, give me you in 5 years' time and you in 10 years' time. And if you say you in 10 years' time, you're lying on a beach, you deserve it.
I've always...
But give me the 5 years' time.
I'll be happy if I'm alive. Yeah?
Really?
That's me. I'm surprised I made it to 40. Right? So I'll be happy if I'm alive. I don't know where I'll be if I'm alive. I've done lots of prison time for my beliefs, for my work as a journalist, which is insane in so-called free country. I keep getting put in prison for this. I believe after Saturday scenes, the establishment will want me gone. I have no doubt about that.
Give me 5 years, the positive, the hypothetical, where you'd like to
We've
be.
closed the borders of the UK. Right. You've seen mass deportations of all the illegals.
Okay.
We're concentrating on identity and culture, and the Brits and the children are being brought up to celebrate pride. When I say the Brits, that's all children in Britain should be encouraged. America does it better than us. They encourage them to swear allegiance to stars and stripes to their flag. Every child in this country who's born in Britain needs to become part of this beautiful nation and celebrate that we're the most successful country in the world. Yeah, we're the best country on the planet with the best history. Yes, every country has its problems with history, every one of them, but we're the only ones who get attacked. We ended slavery. Stop talking about stuff.
Correct.
We ended it. We ended it, and we're continually made to feel ashamed for an education system that's purpose is to indoctrinate, and it's cultural Marxism has infiltrated everything. So we need to free ourselves of that. We need absolute free speech, reborn in this country. And I think that the public are baying for it. They're ready for it. This country's ready for change. And
Tommy, you're an amazing man.
No, thank you.
You're courageous beyond belief. You are in the history books already in a positive way. And I think what you're doing...
The winners write the history. Right? The winners write the history.
Well, the lion.
So I'll be writing the history. I'm going to be great, all right?
And I think what you're doing is heroic beyond belief. And I think what you're doing is spreading way beyond this country in a positive way.
Thank you.
No, wonderful meeting you, buddy.
No,
Come to South Africa.
I'm desperate to after what you've been telling me, mate. I'm on my way. All right?